I've got 6 essential layers to what we need to be doing as women in our midlife. If you're feeling like midlife requires you to do absolutely everything perfect, this video is for you. If you've ever felt like Phoebe running around the wedding dress store for all of the right dresses, you know you have seen that meme before. This video is for you. Workouts, food, hormones, stress relief. It's all so much to do at the same time. And it feels like you don't know where to start. Well, I'm going to make it easier for you and say that we're just going to add it to our life in layers. I have 6 essential layers that we need to add to our life in midlife. Number 6 is going to be the most important, so make sure you stay tuned all the way until the end. Number 1 is strength training. Now, I know that we've all heard different doctors talk about it. If you even Google anything over 40, it's all strength training, strength training, strength training, or at least on my algorithm, that's what's going on. If you're new and you have not heard this, you've maybe just entered your 40s and you're like, oh, something's not feeling right. Strength training is going to be for you. And I'm not talking about an Orange Theory strength training. I'm not talking about some of those other classes, like group classes. You need like legit heavy lifting strength training. No, I don't want you, if you've never really strength trained before, to go in and start deadlifting 200 pounds. I don't even deadlift 200 pounds very often. And I have been strength training since I was 12 years old. But strength training needs to be the absolute foundation of what we do. It helps to regulate our hormones, it helps to regulate our blood sugar, like all of those different things that we have going on in our body. Having enough muscle is what really helps us to regulate things. Strength training gives our bodies resilience, it gives it structure. Let's be real, we all want to look like we're wearing a corset all the time. Strength training does that. It gives you that lean muscle that we all want. Strength training, a lot of women think that you're going to get bulky if you lift heavy. That's absolutely not true. Like, I'm going to show you real numbers like over here on the screen, but I just in the past 3 months have dropped body fat percentage and upped my muscle, and I've looked better than ever. And I have, well, better than better than my early 30s. My 30s were very, very tumultuous time for me because I didn't have as much muscle as I should have had. Now that I'm putting it on, I feel so much better. Still struggling with a little bit of insulin resistance, but I have a feeling, and actually I know, that as I gain more muscle, that insulin resistance is only going to get better. And because that's what your body does, is it uses up that glucose that's in your system. And guess what else? Strength training will actually let you eat more. The more muscle you have, the more your resting metabolic rate will go up. So if you ladies want to eat more, maybe not feel so guilty for having that glass of wine or vodka tonic, strength training. Layer number 2 is walking. Walking is absolutely essential. This is not something that you can skip. It needs to be part of your everyday. If you have a sedentary job like I do, I literally sit all day long unless I literally bring out my walking pad. This is not something that you need to do that is extra. Walking needs to be in your daily routine. If you're somewhere that you're not living in sunny Southern California like I am so sorry. If you need to get a walking pad, please make sure that you get one. I will have one similar to mine linked below. I absolutely love my walking pad. It fits very nicely underneath my bed, so I do not have to have it out all the time. But if you have a sedentary job, you need to make sure that you are moving around. That was one of the hardest things for me, is switching from working in the classroom to working online. I'm just in front of a computer all of the time, and that's when I would see students, or it's still when I see students, and usually I'm just sitting there. So, but now I've got a standing desk and I have a walking pad, and I can either be standing there while I'm meeting students, or I can be on my walking pad in meetings or whatever. But walking outside honestly is even better. My husband and I try and go on a walk about once a week, and that is one of our times where we can connect. We talk about the kids, we talk about our week, what we have going on if it's the beginning of the week, or wrapping up our week. If we can get out for a walk, we kind of cap our week at the end. And if you've got green space near you, amazing. Utilize it. It is so good for your psyche. Getting outside and walking needs to be an essential part of your week. 10,000 steps is, I know what people think is like the gold standard. Honestly, anywhere from 7 to 10,000 is great. If you go up over 15,000, yes, it is extra calories for you to burn, but it's technically not essential. Walking 10 to 15,000 steps, it's all kind of about the same when it comes to health benefits. Stress reduction. This is something that we all need to work on. I don't know about you, but I am a busy mom of two here at home. I have 5 stepsons. I work full time from home. I homeschool my kids, and stress reduction is absolutely essential. If your cortisol is high, you're going to have inflammation, you're going to have sleep trouble, and your nervous system is just going to be a wreck. So, whatever stress reduction looks like for you, do it. If you need a bath once a week, if you have a bathtub, more power to you. I really want a bathtub. But if that's your stress reduction, please make sure that you're doing it. If it's meditation, make sure that you're meditating as often as you need to. If you're one of those people like me, I love going to church for stress reduction. I just love being in Christ's presence. And so I will go to church once a week, either for adoration or mass. And that's part of my stress reduction. Maybe it's removing something from your life. Maybe it's a job change. Whatever that might be, try and make sure that you're doing it. Now, are there going to be stressful seasons in your life? Yes, stressful seasons happen. We just happened to have one last holiday season, and my cortisol levels went absolutely through the roof. They happen. But stress reduction and also recovery is essential for that. And so make sure that you get yourself back into a good place, because stress can wreak havoc on your mind, your body, your hormones, your everything. Layer number 4 is hormone support. Now, this one can be kind of controversial, and let me tell you that I'm not a doctor, I am not a nutritionist, I am not a PA, I have no formal medical training. I'm just a person who has had a lot of hormonal problems since I was a teenager, and I've done a ton of research. So I'm telling you what I know from my experience and telling you to go do your own research and see your own doctor. Hormone support is essential in midlife. Our hormones are dropping. If you've hit perimenopause, there are things that can get pretty wonky. And like I said, stress can make things even worse. So, what am I doing on my personal journey? I'm taking a testosterone, I'm taking progesterone, I'm taking a DHEA. The reason that I know that I need to take these is because I had my labs done. I have my labs done about every 6 months. I see a naturopathic PA that I absolutely love. I'll put her information in the description below, but find a doctor that you trust that knows women's hormones. There are tons of telehealth companies that you can see, and really get them to personalize your hormones to you. Get labs done and make sure that your hormones, whatever they're giving you, is matching what your labs say. I don't need estrogen. A lot of doctors prescribe estrogen at this point in our lives. I don't need estrogen. I'm actually estrogen dominant right now. I definitely don't need estrogen. But if you need estrogen, make sure that you are getting it. Having your hormones balanced makes a world of difference. If your hormones are not balanced, that weight gain when your workouts, even if you're heavy lifting, aren't working, it's not going to work because your hormones are not working. Your body's not going to let go of whatever fat you have. Your hormones need to be in sync in order for everything to function properly, in order for your body to let go. If things are not functioning properly, it's going to hold on to it, because fat is what keeps us alive when things are not going right. And like I said before, make sure you are seeing a doctor, and it is okay to press your doctor. I went through a ton of different medical appointments trying to find the right fit, and not every doctor is the right fit for you. I started in my 30s knowing that something was wrong, talked to a doctor, or a PA is technically what he was, and came out of that meeting crying because he was not listening to me. I went through several other doctor's appointments, and finally, through word of mouth, found my naturopathic practitioner. I personally like her because she can prescribe actual medication as well as hormones and anything else, along with supplements. If you get someone who's more of a chiropractor that has turned into like a nutritionist doctor, you're going to get supplements from them, but you're not necessarily going to be able to get actual prescriptions and hormones from them. So just make sure that you know what you're going in for. And honestly, some things can be fixed with just diet and certain supplements. Other things cannot. I went just the diet and supplement track first, and I got to a certain point, but actually taking hormones took me over to the other side. And that brings us to layer number 5, which is supplements. This is another reason to get labs done, because you need to see what your body needs, what your body is lacking. In labs, they usually do test different things, and you have a conversation with your doctor. Honestly, if you are meeting with your doctor for the first time as you're having a hormone discussion for less than 30 minutes, it's not a good doctor's appointment. They're not really listening to you. They're there for the money. They want the turnover rate. You guys need to be spending 30 minutes. My first appointment with my naturopathic practitioner was an hour long, and I think we actually went over. I think we were like an hour and 30 minutes. And we really dove into what I needed. I take a magnesium, I take an omega-3, I take a B, I take a D, I take ashwagandha, I take levothyroxine, I take a melatonin, and I also take a GLP-1. Now, I actually fought her on the GLP-1 for about a year, and she's like, it's going to help your blood sugar, it's going to help your, actually not my blood sugar, my insulin, because that's the biggest thing that I've struggled with is my insulin has been up a lot. And I've struggled and struggled and struggled with it. And she's like, it's going to help it. And I was like, no, I can do it with diet and exercise and these other hormones. Well, I tried for a year, and then I finally got on it, and some of the weight slash some of the fat has started to come off. Now, mind you, I've only been on the GLP-1 since November. It is now February, and I also went about a week and a half to 2 weeks without it because I accidentally threw away a full bottle. That's another story for another day, but it is what it is. And the sixth most important layer is food. You need to be sure that you are nourishing your body properly. You need to make sure that you are eating enough protein to make sure that those muscle gains are working for you. You need to make sure that you are eating enough fat, because if you are not eating enough fat, you might think, oh, I've got fat on my body, my hormones are going to be fine. Not true. You need to have enough fat in your diet in order for your body to produce the proper hormones at the proper levels. When you are going on super low fat diets, your hormones are actually going to go out of whack because your hormones need fats in order to be produced in the way that they need to be produced. You also need to have enough carbohydrates in your diet in order to have enough energy to do whatever it is that you need to do. Most women have a calorie intake of about 15 to 1700 calories. That's way too low. Your body is going to store whatever it can just because it feels like it's starving all the time. If you are doing all of the other things that I am saying, you need to make sure that you are fueling your body properly. I can't tell you the exact micronutrients that you need. You can either work with your naturopathic practitioner if you want to. Mine gave me guidelines. If you're someone that wants something specific, I don't advise you setting the guidelines with like MyFitnessPal. Theirs are off, but if you want to track them on MyFitnessPal, that's what I track my food through when I am tracking my food. But you can type in, and there are videos on how to do this, what you want to your micronutrients to should be in ChatGPT. I'll actually link a video below on figuring out how to calculate what macronutrients you need, and there are so many videos on how to do it. It's not that hard, but knowing that you should probably eat 100 to 150 grams of protein depending on what your muscle goals are, and you need enough carbs and you need enough fat in your diet. If you do not have the food piece in line, the rest of what I just said, the other 5 layers, are not going to work as well. Making sure that your food is dialed in is the most important layer. It is your foundational layer. What you intake into your body is essential to how your body is going to perform, how you're going to produce hormones, how your body is going to respond to strength training, how your body is going to respond to even walking around more maybe than you have been. You need to make sure that you have enough fuel in your body in order for it to let go of the excess. If you don't know where to go with your food, look on Pinterest, look on YouTube. You can literally like look in your fridge and girl dinner it up if you need to. Just make sure you have a protein, a carb, a fat, and then some vegetables in order for you to have enough fiber. Fiber is essential as well. Yeah. And get creative. You don't have to have boring chicken breasts and rice and veggies. I rarely eat that. There are so many amazing recipes out there. All you need to do is just start to Google things, start to watch more videos, and you're going to say, oh, that looks kind of good, but I'm not ready for that. And maybe in like 2 or 3 months, you might be ready for that. So something super simple like ground beef, sweet potato, and some carrots or A cucumber with it is something that would be a really, really good lunch or dinner. And it's something that you can very easily meal prep for the entire week. Get creative with it. Have fun. This food is not supposed to be punishment. There are so many different flavors and things out there. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. The most important thing is that you don't have to pile all this on at once. It's actually really hard to do all at once. Take one layer, get it down, and then move on to the next one. And remember, this whole midlife health thing is not just one thing. These 6 essential layers can help you to feel the best that you can possibly feel in midlife. And that's what we really want. We want to thrive. We want to feel good. We want to be fit in our chaos. And that's exactly what my life is. Thank you everyone for watching Mandy Moves, Fit in the Chaos. I hope this video helped you out. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe.